What's up? Welcome to the workshop, which is currently a giant mess. I've got a lot of projects going on. So let's start off by heading outside. Now, if you're new here, which if you're watching this, you're probably not, but even so, if you are, my name's Jeff. This is my backyard. This channel is Fun Size Adventures, where I try to help parents build backyard fun on a budget. And if you probably remember, if you're watching this, because you're probably one of my core viewers, that a few months ago I announced that my wife Sarah and I are having another baby. Now, we have our 4 boys, then the youngest one of them just is 5. He's going to turn 6 by the time this baby's born. And wouldn't it be such a great story-wise, if we thought we were done having kids, we came back, had that one more, and then we got a little girl? That would be a great story, but you're gonna have to stick around to the end of the video where I tell you what we're end up having. First, did I just say that right? What we are going to end up having and what the baby is currently in Sarah's belly. But first, I wanted to tell you about some different things that kind of bring you up to speed of what's been going on in our lives and around the yard here so far this spring and early summer. Now, it's been very, very wet through the spring. It actually just kind of got really dry all of a sudden a couple weeks ago. But up until a couple weeks ago, we weren't able to do things like, this is part of our bike trail here, coming down here, and right through here, this was all mud and just completely, even filled with water in some of these spots. Couldn't even weed whack it yet. But we finally got dried out. We can hit all of our bike trail now. We actually just got our old CTSC zip line, our original one we've had for 5 years, back up here. We want to put the new one up, but there's nowhere to fit that currently that doesn't cross the yard. So we don't want to kind of take up the middle of the yard until we're sure we don't want to do anything else in the yard. But that said, it's also been a very busy spring and early summer because there's been a lot going on as video-wise. As I'm sure you've seen, we've been able to do a lot of different things. I want to thank you to all the different brands that have partnered to do collaborations. That really kind of keeps things going, helps me to be able to review some products, especially that I probably wouldn't have been able to put the money out to buy, to review myself. So that kind of helps keep things going. But that being said, it's nice that we kind of got to the middle of summer here. There's a little bit of a break. Haven't gotten as many emails, or I've actually been getting a lot of emails, but they're all things that are like not relative to my channel. Like I think I just got one for like a pump that you would put in a pond, which I don't even have a pond. Speaking of which, if you're watching this video currently, you're probably one of my core viewers, like I mentioned that, and no offense to the people who just pop in who like a product that I'm reviewing and are just researching that and get the information they need and then go on their way. That definitely helps, especially monetarily, helps keep this channel going. But there's something about the core people like you guys that are just always there coming to watch, that are a little bit maybe interested in me and my family personally. That means the world to me and really kind of keeps me going on those days where maybe I don't even really want to post something. I just kind of want to relax. But yeah, it just kind of really keeps me going. Speaking of viewership and things like that, we had a couple giant milestones on the channel. After 5.5 years, we just hit 3,000 subscribers, which is still just like a drop in the bucket as far as how big people get on YouTube. But you'd be surprised how, like, I don't have what you would call like a super successful channel, but you would be amazed at all the opportunity and even just like the little bit of affiliate income and stuff that comes along with that. It's nothing you can live off of, but it's definitely more than I thought I would be when I had 3,000 subscribers. And another thing, a few weeks ago, we hit 1 million total channel views since launching this channel back in January of 2020. Little did we know what was coming a few months into the channel. But we stuck it out, we made it through, and now we have 1 million views, which is kind of staggering to try to wrap your head around. But anyway, another big project, another thing, some of that affiliate income I've been able to put to use is, remember a few years back, if you're a longtime viewer, we put this trail from our backyard into this little area here for a campsite, set up a tent, set up a fire pit, and we still do that sometimes. We haven't been able to camp out as much lately, but isn't it weird how, like, I have parts of my yard that the grass doesn't grow well. Down here, I just put gravel here. I never planted anything, and I've got, like, I actually have to mow it every time I mow the lawn because it actually grows way better back here than it does up there. But this year, we were able to add this extension. I wanted to get a load of gravel, and the kids have been have been being a big help bringing this back here, because we do it all by hand with a wheelbarrow and shovels. And we're trying to build a trail, not only to ride bikes on, but also to be able to get a wheelbarrow back here, because we have 2.5 acres about. And right here, you might be able to see some orange marks on these trees. This is right on the edge of one of the property lines. It's kind of like a big pizza pie shape. And the corner is back here. And you see it's kind of a field in the center here. And then we go back into the woods. And we have a wood stove that we do some of our heating of the house with. And we have this like secondary woods back here in like the tip of the pizza pie that we wanted to make it easier to get that wood out when we cut trees down to burn in the fire, burn in the wood stove. We wanted to make it easier to be able to just wheelbarrow. Oh, there's a deer. Can you see that? Oh, that was so cool. You might be able to see it again. Should I chase it? Or did it go? It's gone, or it's hiding. I'm not going to go back through the bushes. You can see we still have a little bit of clearing to do. If we go a little bit further, there's an old logging road that goes down that way and that way. And that's my goal, is to get to that. And you can see there's some different trees laid down through here. I'm going to be cutting those up in the fall. And last year I did the same thing. I had to carry them by hand all the way back to the campsite in order to put in a wheelbarrow. This will make it so much easier. And I've also been, especially the older kids, especially Ethan, who's just turned 13 last week. And so that's kind of cool to have the new baby coming, have a newly minted teenager. There's a weird kind of like family dynamic that's unfolding that is going to be a fun season, I'm sure. But they're not quite to the point where he can work yet, but definitely him, Calvin, and even the younger kids want to earn some extra money. But especially Ethan and Calvin are super motivated to work. So they've done most of the moving of this gravel. And we're talking about, I think it was 12 yards of gravel that I got. That's like a lot of work. So they're going to get paid very handsomely, be able to do some fun things with the money they earn. And I know that they are super excited about that. And I'm super excited that I didn't have to move all of this gravel. Another project, and speaking of the different family dynamics that I've been working on inside the house, is I've got with another new baby on the way, we got to figure out, got to do some room swapping. And that's a lot of that junk that you saw in my workshop. That's what I'm doing there, kind of adding some shelves to kind of better store things. And then we had the room that I actually edit every video for this channel in, which was kind of our spare bedroom / office that we're kind of converting back into a bedroom. That's going to be Ethan's at first, and then Calvin's going to eventually move in there with him, and then Eli, Miles, and the new baby. Once the new baby moves out of our room, we'll be in the room the boys are currently in. So there's a lot of little projects like that going on around here currently. And I work in retail, basically. I work for Nabisco, go in and out of grocery stores. And this is busy time of year because I live in a very touristy area in the summertime. And there's just a lot of things going on. So it's kind of that's one of the reasons. Number one, I wanted to tell you what we're having for a baby, but I also wanted to have a little bit of a breather here in the middle of summer, just not to get overwhelmed, not to get burnt out. I'm sure every parent can relate with that. But speaking of those kids, one gripe I get from them, even though this channel, Fun Size Adventures, is working better than it ever has, getting more views, more subscribers, more like money coming in, and that's all great. But those kids pine for the old days when we would do like hiking vlogs and everything was just for fun. And I moved away from that because, number one, I wanted to find something that resonated, and that's this building backyard fun on a budget. That seems to be what resonated and people are actually looking for. And number two, I wanted to not ever feel like I was forcing them to be in any of my videos. And when we were like doing vlogs and stuff, I just felt like they might be feeling pressure for me to perform, and I didn't want to feel like I was forcing them into it. But that being said, apparently they really enjoy that and have been begging me to go back to it. And I said I won't, but I said that they're getting a little bit older. I have an old computer and I have an old GoPro. They have just launched their own channel where they're going to be just filming and editing their own videos. And I'll put a link to that at the end of this one if you're interested in checking it out. It's called Revenge of the Smiths, with a little play on like Star Wars terminology there. And they are super excited about that. They're actually begging me. They're trying to keep a weekly upload schedule right now, which I don't even do that anymore. But they've been plugging away on it. But I told them not to. Don't feel pressured like you got to keep it going. You're just kids. You got to enjoy your time being a kid. Speaking of other things that I get excited about and the kids get excited about, is we just redid our merch line, which nobody buys my merch, and I'm not trying to pressure anybody into buying my merch. I just like to get it printed because I think it's cool to wear it myself. So we just switched from Teespring to Spreadshirt, and impressed with the quality that allows me to keep the pricing a little bit lower. And I only make like a couple dollars off of them, so I don't feel like I'm pressuring you at all to buy. But that does make it more affordable if you're interested. We got the traditional Fun Size Adventures like compass logo here. And I got a couple new designs. We got Safety Dad. Hey there, friend. It's been a while since Safety Dad appeared in one of my videos, but he's definitely one of those fun characters that I like to include. And part of the reason he hasn't shown up is because you guys have this problem where you have kids and like your stuff disappears sometimes. Well, Safety Dad's safety goggles have gone MIA. I can't find them. So until I can locate those, Safety Dad's kind of on vacation. And then another one that I just got printed up is this. This is actually like a t-shirt fabric, but a hoodie. Good for those cool summer nights, is my priorities shirt. And it's a reminder to never forget the priorities you had when you were 10 years old. Because at the end of the day, you got to reconnect with that every now and then to keep yourself happy, keep yourself sane. So when I was 10 years old, I'm sure a lot of boys like me could relate. Build forts, ride bikes, eat pizza, repeat. That's all you really needed to keep us happy when we were kids, am I right? But those were simpler times back then, I suppose. But we got to reconnect with those simpler times. As I wrap it up towards the end, one more thing. Like I said, I'm making a little bit of money from this channel, and it couldn't have come at a better time because a lot of my stuff was like falling apart, especially out here. Like we've been at this like weird season where like we've lived here for like 13 years and everything that was brand new when we moved here is like falling apart. And even I see that there's some logs on top of it currently, but this is a picnic table I made several years ago, I think in 2017. And it was beautiful when it was done. But you know what? The mistake I made with it is I sealed it after I built it. If you're ever gonna build something like that, seal it before you put the pieces together. Otherwise, water gets down in the cracks and it rots. So that all rotted down. So, you know, budget-minded me got the cheap $150 folding picnic table from Home Depot, and then got an umbrella to go with it. And it's got the nice like fake wood design on it, but definitely super budget-minded. I got a new grill because the grill was rotted out, complete falling apart. Got one of the Blackstone griddles, which super nice, gives you more options, and I feel like I just like it works a lot better. And this is one I actually got. This is another how budget-minded I am, is I got the one with like, this is like a tabletop one, and then I got the base so that I can take this apart fully and store it like inside or in the shed in the wintertime especially. But even once we get to the fall and I'm not using it as much, I can put it away and easily take it out in a couple minutes. And that way it's gonna last me a lot longer because you know how cheap I am. And that's just the sort of things that I like to do. And like I said, that a lot of that stuff like that. Oh, and also my lawnmower finally died. It's been on its last leg for like 4 years, but it finally died. I was able to get a new one, a nice electric one, a lot quieter and just a lot lighter, easier. And then this also folds up nice and small. Could put it inside, free up some room in my shed because we're quickly approaching a time where I'm gonna have to get a bigger shed, but I wanna put that off as long as I possibly can. Which brings me to the reason that you probably clicked on this video. You want to know what it is we are having for a baby. And like I said, it would have been a great story. It would have been, you can already guess where I'm going with this. If after coming back, we had the girl, like that's what we hear from everybody. You're trying again because you wanted a girl. It would have been great if that's what God had in his plan, but nope. We've got baby boy number 5 coming, which a lot of people kind of assume that we're disappointed about that. And yeah, there's like a little bit of, I wouldn't call it disappointment, but like bittersweetness in knowing that there's just this other side of parenthood that Sarah and I are just not going to get to experience. But at the same time, we love our 4 boys we have. We're super excited to add one more to the mix. We kind of have the whole boy parent thing down to a science, even to the point where we built a whole YouTube channel kind of focused on keeping them busy in a way. So that's super excited. And his name is going to be Oliver, which that's the thing with names. We've had a girl's name picked out for so long because we just never used it. And it was, that's the other, that if there was a hint of disappointment, because I really wanted to use that name. I really had grown to like that name. But we had no boy's name. We couldn't think of a boy's name. I threw Oliver out there. I know it's like super popular, but we don't really know too many around here, like in our friend circles. And we know people with a lot of kids. But yeah, I kind of threw it out as it was like, because I grew up skateboarding. I was always big into skateboarding, and you got like, you call the ollie, and that's like a skateboard term. So it first like dawned on me like that. And then it wasn't until I was researching, just trying to cover all our bases, research through names, and figure if there's any other name that we could go with. And I ended up looking up the meanings, and the name Oliver like has connotations of like olive branches, and like, and at the end of the day, it basically boils down to it means peace, which that's what the name Jeffrey means. So it's kind of like naming a kid after yourself without naming a kid after yourself, which I know all about because I am Jeff Jr. And I just didn't want to go for Jeff III, so this is as close as we're going to get to keeping that name alive. But thank you guys so much if you made it to the end of this video, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the summer, to the fall, and to having this baby, and there's a lot of fun in store. There's a few things, and there's also, I got some great ideas coming up for video ideas that I haven't been able to get to yet, and some more on like super budget minded one. I have some like dollar store related videos of trying to get fun stuff from the dollar store, which I'm super excited to try to get a chance to do. And yeah, I'll leave you with this. Summer is fleeting. You only have 18 of them before your kids are grown up. Make sure you get out there in your own backyard. It doesn't need to be big, doesn't need to be extravagant. Just get out there together. Have a fun-sized adventure of your own. See ya.